It's there.
We're visible. We'll roll with it. People just practice and stay until they're.
The time I don't have it come down here, I graduated. See what that is.
All right, we just go with it. All right. Did everyone have a chance to sign it? No. Okay. Go that way.
I'm see what it says on cases that they really watch. I think
Go with it. Okay. Thank you. Did everyone get a chance to look at the or the claims? Yeah. Sorry. Right? Yes, that's, yeah. The motion to approve the October 13th minutes. Second, all in favor, say aye. 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 Any opposed? Okay. Okay. All right. The October, November claims.
Is that for the insurance? That's a whole year, right?
I mean, ours are when I say mine, no.
I'll make a motion to approve the October and November.
I second that, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. First State Board of Accounts, board provided checks written last month's deposits last month and bank reconciliations. We'll need to do a new trash ordinance for 2026 and 2027 rate increase per our contract in December. We'll also advertise our increase in fees for outside utility work.
Actually, apparently we don't have to advertise that fee increase. I thought we did, and some information came through. People on the group on in and you don't have to, which is great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. For the utility work. Okay. Upcoming subcontractors, the clerk will need to pay Hayden Consulting annual invoice and for help for sending out new booklets for 2026. The National Group for printing 2026 booklets. Any objections?
Who's the booklet person?
I'm probably gonna use the same lady because she'll come to me. I say, help me get them out. And that is, Holly. Holly Robertson. Robinson.
And then Hayden's will it be used like about the 12
It should be somewhere in that area.
Okay. Alright, full business and open projects, grant administration proposal from Mendenhall, accept, question mark.
Do we need to make an official motion to accept that?
I looked it over this afternoon.
That's good, yeah.
Nice.
So I looked at it in my email, but.
All right, so I have the yellows for Carrie to sign and the green is for Pam to sign. I have two contracts, one for you to keep and one for me to take back. And then I have some procurement documents that have to be signed after that, so.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. I'll make a motion to approve the Mendenhall and Associates agreement between owner and administrator.
I second that. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
And then while she's signing that, This does not need board approval, but you only received one grant administrator responding, which is typical. Normally, when you get to this spot in a project, we all know that you've been working with someone, so, but this just tells you the Office of Rural Affairs that you're okay receiving that one qualification and that you've had previous experience, and you're very pleased to sign those two. And even though there wasn't anything to score, because you only received one grant administrator's qualifications, Lindsay, if you could sign here, you don't have to fill out the scoring. Just sign the sheets, because I still have to upload those. And then Jeff is not here today, so I'm gonna go ahead. I will change the name, but Jeff will sign. Will you sign? I only need 3 scoring numbers. If you'll sign for Jeff, and then Carrie, these 2 yellow tabs need to be signed as well. They're score sheets, so if you would have received 2 other proposals, this is the forms you would have scored them out on.
Let me sign it back and we have.
Yes, there should be 2 tabs there for you. Lindsay's. Nika, so I'll go ahead and give you a copy of this letter.
Okay.
And here's your copy of the contract. And then just to give you an update, we have milestones to meet with the CDBG grant. I want to let you know that on October 31st, the town of Michigan Town met their environmental conditions release, which means all agencies have reviewed your project, they approved it. We published what was called a finding of no significant impact. So we met our first milestone. And later on this evening, you're going to hear from Maureen, and you'll see our next deadline is the bid deadline, which is set forth on February 28th. So, and Commonwealth and I are consistent with that next milestone. All right, any other questions for me? All right, thank you. That's all I have tonight.
All right. Sewage plant projects and grants. Maureen,
Do you want me to update memo that you're in sent?
if you would like, sure.
Do you all have copies of it? So,
Not the thing, but yeah, thank you.
sorry, you're good. I'll just run through this quickly. You're, because I think you may have had a chance to review it. If not, Jared sent you copies. Preliminary design is complete. The final design has begun. The project scope remains the same, consistent with the ER. You'll see later as we talk about this, the preliminary design meeting. Scott and Jeff and whomever else in town is set for November 18th. The permit application preparation started. Norfolk Southern Road right of way permitting requirements at 3 existing sewer railroad crossings as part of the CIPP work if needed. Has Jared talked to you a little bit about this? About the right of way permitting and Clinton County Drainage Board permitting?
Contacted me about that.
Okay.
My question last month was when this thing's, they say inactive, and they just recently told the rails clear out. I still don't get why they require permits.
I don't know.
That's just crazy.
I think that's a good question to ask during next week at that preliminary design meeting. That's okay with you.
Sure.
I know that they must have contacted the railroad and gotten it, and so I think it says if needed, if needed.
I thought they wanted money to sign off on it.
So I'm not sure if that's dependent or not.
Was
2,500. So it's not, I think it's not confirmed yet, but so note that it says in this report that it says if needed. The Clinton County Drainage Board to determine floodway permitting requirements along the sewer interceptor. We're attempting to receive an exemption for this permit since it's not impacting the floodway levels. And the DNR is providing a letter of authorization exempting the project from meeting a DNR construction and floodway permit. Again, you'll be meeting with
Darren next week. I think we can raise all those questions. Clinton County is requiring an encroachment permit for work within the county legal drainage easements. And the cost of the permit is cost of permit by owner, so it's to be determined what the county is going to charge you for the encroachment. And do you think either of you and will be able to attend that preliminary design meeting next Wednesday morning? If not, I know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be able to,
If
yeah,
not, let me know.
yeah, okay.
19. This coming.
The 18th, November 18th at 8:30 to 10:30. You can bring your sweet baby. So that takes care of Division A. And Division B, the wastewater treatment plant and lift station upgrades, the preliminary design is complete. Final design has begun. The project scope has changed slightly from the PER to remove work completed by the town, including new issues discovered by Scott and Jeff, such as the yard piping bottlenecks, drain piping, rerouting, lagoon piping modifications. So I think that you mentioned that to me, that you and Abby and your team went on a discovery mission.
Abby scored that last time she was here and figured out why we have the problem.
I'm sure it took a team of you to.
You know, it was all on her. You know, it never hit me what had happened in the past
Yeah.
and why we're in this bottleneck that we got back there. And when we were all standing there, she says, I see it. But the pipe's in the wrong elevation.
I'm not being ageist or sexist when I say this. I know Abby looks like she's about 16.
Mhm.
Abby, oh, she's so smart and so good. Did you say that, Scott? But she's
She's
very good.
She's smart beyond her years.
Yeah, but you'll see,
Yeah.
she's not 16. But
No,
seriously,
no, but, yeah.
teenager doing work on my project.
with her discovering that issue. Now I don't think we have an issue. The 4 valves in that one structure being underwater. Once we get the lagoon level back, guess what? The valve repair. We don't have to do there's work to do in that
Yeah.
pit, but not to the extent that we was going to, I don't think.
Okay, well, that's why we've got a 2-hour meeting next week to go through all the issues of the preliminary design. Permitting again, some questions, some issues in the process of completing the SWPPP for IDEM. That's where the process, stormwater something.
Prevention.
Okay, thank you. So that's a process. We're in the process of completing the NDOT right-of-way permit, both Division A and B. We anticipate submitting that in November, and we're in the process of completing the IDEM construction sanitary sewer permit. We anticipate that submitting that this month as well. Electrical update, the design drawings and specs are in progress for the final design. Division C, the lagoon sludge removal. Again, the preliminary design is complete. Design has begun. The project scope remains consistent with PER. The design drawings and specs are in progress for final design. The lab testing of the lagoon sludge contents has started. So we anticipate the results to follow in the next couple of weeks. That will provide the data for the sludge removal and land application. I'm looking to you, Scott, to see if you're nodding your head. That's okay.
The samples are in, I'm just waiting on the land. They're usually about 2 weeks. They would have gotten the samples like Wednesday or Thursday, so I'll probably see them.
Hopefully there won't be any surprises or expensive surprises.
But I don't expect it.
I didn't see any surprises in the tube, but.
No. They're looking for things like hazardous metal concentrate and that. The other stuff, just nutrient information, so that when you put it on, you can tell the farmer you're giving him, fertilizer.
Free stuff.
Yeah, free
Yeah.
stuff. So I don't anticipate there being a bunch of hazardous metals because we don't have anything that would generate hazard.
Somebody dumped something in the system somewhere.
Yeah.
So overall, the project remains on schedule. We are again holding the preliminary design review meeting on November 18th, from 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. Here. And I brought 3 copies of the preliminary design, one for the town to have if you want to review it. Since I'm not an engineer, but these guys can, Jeff and Scott can. So yeah, we provide a copy to Scott and to Jeff, so we'll walk through all that. Again, if there are any questions at all, now is the time to ask these questions. So administratively, I think I reached out to you about the contract amendment. That is a zero cost contract amendment. We are reducing the geotechnical task work from 20,000 to 0 based on the design work and minimal site excavation, geotechnical borings, soil borings were not needed. We've increased the preliminary design task work from 230,000 to 245,000. This includes work associated with Jeff, Scott, and Sean modifications for piping lagoon, junction piping lagoon, effluent upgrades, generating fuel modifications, resolving current as-built information at the wastewater treatment plant and sewers. We're increasing the permitting task work from 10,000 to 15,000. That includes the railroad right-of-way permit and the county legal drain permit, which we may or may not need, but it results in zero cost to you. I think you have that. Do you need to see what okay? Did you? Okay. So I've got I got more copies, but in essence, if you're okay with all this, ask you to sign one, keep it, and ask you to sign one and give it back to me.
I'll make a motion to approve the amendment to owner engineer agreement with.
I second that. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Where did she sign?
That's what I mean, beside this, Maureen.
It's up here. Sorry.
No, you're good.
On the second page, no, sorry, we should have tagged it for you on the second
That's okay.
page.
Okay.
So I'll need your signature and hand to attest it. And then on that final page as well. I think we just need, yeah, well, yeah, you're the owner of this project. Oh, yeah. And this we are submitting to USDA Rural Development. Once they open, once the federal government opens back up again. I think Tina can speak to a couple of questions that she's put out to USDA Rural Development when she hasn't gotten a response because there's someone sitting at their desk.
I didn't thought about that.
And I didn't know.
But, you know, who knows? I mean, anything could happen. But, Mike McGowan, who used to be with USDA Rural Development, who was involved with our project, as you recall, he was on the phone with us and walking us through this. He decided to leave. He decided to leave USDA Rural Development because of just all the challenges that were there. They cut back his staff, they cut back his funding, they just, you know, it was very challenging. So he quit USDA Rural Development. And when we found that out, we went to him and asked him to join us on the council team. So now Craig McGowan, who knows rural development funding inside and out. He spent like 20 something years with rural development. So I'm connecting him with Tina and tonight or in the morning, so she can run by some questions from him. So interestingly enough, political appointees. So for example, the state director of USDA Rural Development is still working. But you know, this field staff is not. So Craig can always go to the politically appointed state director of USDA Rural Development if there are any like pressing issues that we need to resolve soon. And it just as a quick aside, it is causing some discomfort and chaos. I mean, we've got one project that's well underway where the contractors, a rural development funded project where the contractors not been paid from whatever 47 days. He's out, he's behind $3 million in getting paid. He's saying, I gotta pay my staff, I gotta pay my workers. So it's just, I'm hoping very much that it gets resolved soon. wherever you fall in the political spectrum, I just. would be good. So you want to keep a copy and you sign a. Sign that. I'm not sure if Barry's gotten that one yet or. Oh, okay, good. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, thank you. So you've got two signs, so you keep one and I'll keep one.
Okay.
How do you want there to go?
Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Check.
Here's one. It shows me about pizza and design. You need signs. All right, I will. Yes, I will. I will. So let me mention one other quick thing. I'm not sure if you have heard about the new state law. The new state law that requires every water and wastewater utility to have an asset management plan. We did not have, when you apply for state revolving fund, you must do an asset management plan as part of the application. But because we did not apply to state revolving fund, instead we applied to the USDA Rural Development, they don't require this an asset management plan. Now this is a new state law that will require every municipally owned water and wastewater utility in the state to complete an asset management plan. So I can send you some details. It's the IURC, the Indian Utility Regulatory Commission, is now overseeing this. And as they've described this in several workshops that I've attended, it's aspirational, is how they describe their requirement.
That's great.
Yeah. So, I mean,
That's a goal.
in essence, they've slowed down the deadlines. So, we were thinking that people were going to have that because the law kicks into effect, I think, on January 1st, and we were thinking everybody's going to have it done by June or something. So, I absolutely send you some more information about this. So, for example, at one of the the Alliance of Indiana Rural Water conference, our folks attended that, and they got to see the kind of the mock-up of the questionnaire. It's like 18 pages long, with 50 questions with boxes that can be checked in some way. It covers your financial capability, your legal capability, your managerial capability, and your operation capability. So it covers a gamut. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
So there's no deadline that you have to meet, right?
Yeah.
Their water utilities are up first, but it's something to keep in mind. You can conceivably do this on your own. And I think many small utilities will, especially you can reach out to the Alliance of Indiana Rural Water folks, which I can also provide some information for them. They've been they've offered their services here before.
I don't know that we have a report.
They're
I
very
work
good.
in the
You guys
They're
did
very good.
with testing, I think, and education, I think Jeff always working with them.
education one, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know if they do testing for, but they'll work with you to figure out what you need.
Yeah.
With capital asset management plan, I've worked on some of these already. Usually we're looking at, okay, you've got these blowers, we need generators, and we're keeping track of them. We have a maintenance plan that goes with it. But, you're basically listing out an inventory, as it were. And then what you're doing is to maintain it. What's its lifespan? When does it, you need to look at, is it something that needs to be replaced? The aspect or the financial part of it, some of the other things, that's kind of new. It's new long. So I gotta see how that goes. Plays into the whole thing.
Well, we can work together on that. It's not big issues. It seems like that's a big thing right now with everybody wanting a capital asset. plan.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, more one.
Cheryl, I need to do one. Had to add those to our annual reports. Yeah, they're just, everybody is big into this right now.
Yes.
So we can do some of this work for you at, we should charge, but again, I think that they're structuring this in such a way that small communities can do it conceivably on their own. So let me send you some information and see how far you can get. Just see how far you can get. I know Sean Kleinpeter has worked on these asset management plans as well. So just, you can always pull them in, you can always bring us in, but I think you should take a look at it to see how much you can get done on your own without having to pay for it, because they can be expensive. I mean,
But how much stuff you got?
I know, yeah, like $40,000 or $50,000, but that is also, that is also in the past, the state revolving fund has required it, and then they've also paid for it. So it's easy to sell it to the community, saying, we're gonna submit this funding, this application for funding, you've got to do this asset management plan, but SRF will reimburse you. Now it's not quite that easy.
One you've done prior to your application.
Yes, yeah, but again, we were safe, not because we didn't go through a state revolving fund. So unless there's some wild need that pops up.
Yeah, like I said, I'm working with Winco right now, trying to pull stuff together. They actually had a gentleman from Tipton County who, I'm not sure how they got us, but he basically went through and did an inventory for it. And his part of the plan was, here's all the things that are more than $5,000. And what their lifespan is and how old they are, that kind of stuff. And then we're building on that. We've got a new maintenance program that we're working on right now through the water leak. But it's okay. In June, we're gonna do the annual oil change on whatever it might be. And, each week we gotta check this pump or, all that kind of stuff. And that's all built into that plan. Again, we haven't done after this financial stuff because it's new.
Yeah, and now we already have some of that that's on our depreciation schedule. We know assets and things like that.
Yeah, I think we do have parts and pieces of this, because you can pull some things out of the PER that we did for you, for example. So just a matter of assembling it. But let me follow up by sending you all this information. I think you should start thinking about it right now. Again, the water utilities are required to do theirs first, and then I think the wastewater utility, it needs to be updated every 4 years. They also are going to require that every governing board be trained in asset management. And so I think that they'll be asking the Alliance, the state has a great relationship with the Alliance of Indiana Rural Water. So I think that they may be asking the Alliance of Indiana Rural Water to provide training. Hopefully it's virtual or at their conferences or something. They'll come try to NBC. So, but every, student will need to be trained in asset management. So in defense of asset management plan, I'm talking about the requirements. I mean, they are a good tool. They are a good tool.
The issue is looking at so gonna wear out eventually.
Right, and it helps you with planning, helps you with, potential rate impact, rate.
Somewhere on that one. About 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that they were requiring it because again, a lot of utilities would be in terribly dire shape. Go to the SRF and say, can you help us? They've got multi-millions of dollars worth of work that has been done. They haven't given any thought to, how to get through the next month.
Okay. Wait, the big part of it, how are you maintaining this? Because you bought a piece of code for the last 20 years. Yeah. And after 5, they're coming in and saying, well, it wore out. And it's because they didn't do the maintenance. They didn't change the oil and grease it, clean the electric to the vents and things like that. So now they want to make sure that you're actually doing the things that need to be done.
Looking at that statute, before October 1st, they were supposed to issue a general administrative order that, among other things, had a simplified form for water, wastewater utilities with less than 1,000 customers.
Yeah. So that is all on the IURC website. And actually we're really fast on this because we've got to give an AIM webinar on this in December. I don't know if you belong to AIM, so keep an eye out for that. So Baker Tilly is we're doing a webinar on the asset management plan, both on the requirements, which Baker Tilly is going to cover the new state law requirements, and then we're going to put up a general kind of why this is a good tool to use. I'm sure there'll be more training on that as well. I just want to bring that to your attention. Do you want to talk about stormwater? Or is that on the agenda?
Segments.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, you're good. Okay. The CCMG matching grant to Reason Street. Oh, sorry, I skipped one. My bad. I called the superintendent's office at the school, to discuss the generator at the lift station, that supposedly he wanted a phone call. I called, left a message. No call back from him, so.
So we don't know what the question was. Anybody? No?
As far as I know, no. So when his call from the prosecutor was unknown, and I'm like, and I think I was busy, so I let them jump email and I said, call me. And now that's where we're at. Okay. Well, I called. See there?
Okay.
Unless it's about the LT and who's gonna pay for that. Because I know they talked to me.
There was a question at one point about that. I would say that would be on the town, because it's only running our equipment.
Well, they paid the electric on previous, so
Not that it would ever take much LP to clean it, so just to start that every week.
Yeah, I mean, the lift station's moving only their waste, right? That's a discussion between the school and the town as to who's paying for what.
and I found the original documents, but that's been a month and a half to 2 months ago, and I don't remember exactly what they said at this time.
Well, it was all installed. Everything out there, clear town is installed when the school's done, and then they gave it to the town.
Yes, but there was a, official agreement for that all to happen.
Yeah. That was the
And I
thing
provided
you
that
found.
to her.
And at that time, they did pay for the electricity just because it was there. Separate meter. They just run it out from the bus barn. Now it may be different since it's separated from electric. It's gonna be an LP fire generator.
We'll cross that bridge.
I mean, it's not a big deal, whatever it is, but they gonna use $5 a month,
It's that.
if that.
All right. Okay. CCMG matching grant to resource streets. Done? Correct, Susan?
It's done.
Okay.
Looks good.
Okay.
Just in the nick of time.
Barely.
They did do a very good job. They were a good bunch to work with. They were very thorough. I had them start in a certain spot back here because of traffic,
Mhm.
semi traffic. When they started, it's like, wow, I didn't know there was that many cracks. So they're sealing them and they're all over the place, but they blew the cracks out real well. So nothing left in the cracks, and they inject it right back into the crack instead of laying it over the top and letting it ooze in. They were actually injecting it, so they did a real good job.
All right. Fiberhawk utility permit update? No? Okay. Anything?
Did you get a hold of them? I know you were gonna talk to his attorney.
That was a Comcast.
Oh, that was Connie. Yeah, okay.
I did talk to Fiberhawk the other day. I ran into him down here. We talked about the issues like we got open holes. Especially now that it's snowing. And the holdup is USIC, they can't get them to do locates so they can finish their work. Fiberhawk is lit. Because Fiberhawk's contractor is JJ Electric. Putting in the conduit. Can't get the locates done. When they're all done, you keep going. When they pull out. They were in town today running fiber optic in the conduit down on First Street. But the conduit's not finished on First Street or down the alley. Going north.
Seems like once a week I wake up to more flags in my yard.
Yeah, it looks like somebody keeps throwing Skittles out in everybody's yard. I mean, we're just,
Pretty soon we're not in that grass much.
yeah,
Mhm.
but that's the holdup with all of them right now is USIC. And every contractor and company is live with USIC, especially when you see them sit here in town in his truck for 3 or 4 hours at a time, and never knows.
Now, so like if they're the ones, if USIC is marking for two, they still have the responsibility to get in so many hours, and if it's not done, what are the repercussions?
I don't know. I got 48 hours to locate.
And they have the same, like when I have
They have the
to,
same thing.
yeah,
If it's not done,
and they hit a line, it's on them.
I would assume so. I don't know that for a fact.
Yeah.
You know, right?
If it's not depicted on the map, on the diagram, then it might not be on that.
Well, I think, let's say I didn't locate a sewer line within that 48 hours and they hit it, it's on us.
Yeah,
right.
Because we didn't locate it.
USIC is just not locating, not doing the locates.
Right.
So those companies would be liable and they'd have to go after USIC.
Matter of fact, just had a gas line hit in Boylston a couple weeks ago. USIC was there and failed to locate the gas line. It was on USIC. I do know that. Center Point homeowner, it's not on you, it's on them. So,
Are they doing the laterals and things like that on the property owner?
yes, some of them's,
I mean, I can see where that would tend to be slow.
some of them's above ground, some of them's also below, but that's not the holdup. The holdup is them drilling the conduit. Yeah,
And that's staying in the right way.
yeah,
And they're not, yeah, that's USIC, not.
yeah, it's USIC not doing their job. That's the whole holdup was the rest of that project.
Who all currently is in town that we should be getting a permit from?
Fiber optic,
Once it's finishing up, be Comcast and fiber,
all that I know of.
because AT&T's gone long months ago.
Yeah.
And
And I've never seen anything from them, because those guys was telling me, don't be surprised if another fiber optic company doesn't come in, but I've not seen anything from them. I think it was called Frontier or something. Not seen any locates from them, but as soon as I get a locate, that's the red flag. That's when I can put back in the program, contact us for a permit before you can see.
and then last month we had talked about contacting, which one of them?
Yeah, we have their attorney come down. He didn't get back with me, so I just sent him a follow-up.
No,
You know, Jeff, you didn't want to stop them from working, you want them out of here.
Yeah, I'm out of here, because we delay it, it's just 6 more months, you
Yeah.
know? And I guess while we're at that, I did correct my typo, Rick, in that installation. Yeah.
Okay.
And also put the permit fee at the bottom of it. But we need to redo that ordinance to make it make sense. Because it's holding everybody out that they can't even fix an electric line without a permit, which is just absurd. Or a gas line or anything else. This system needs to be new construction, new installation, not repair. That's what's in that whole ordinance. The only thing that could be repaired in an emergency was the old cable TV line. So you guys need to work on that ordinance and get that corrected to make this permit match the ordinance.
Do you have a copy of that ordinance, sir?
Looking it up right now. I looked at it the other day.
And you can look at this again, Rick, make sure we got everything. Sure.
The way I read in that ordinance is all they need is someone from the town's approval, without you or any board, town council member. So in the meantime, if something were to happen, most of the time, if the gas lines say you're there anyways.
Yeah,
So, yeah, so you can approve, they don't have to come to the council.
once we get this corrected ordinance wise and get this permit implemented, then they gotta meet what's on that permit. Before I would give them a green light to do anything.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the repairs.
Oh,
Right now, they just have to have someone's approval, yeah, so it doesn't really.
Anytime anything's hit, I get a phone call from somebody.
Yeah.
So when the line got hit a couple days ago, I was at the garage working, some guy I didn't even know screaming my name. Hey, there's been a line hit, and same time they were dispatching the fire department. So, yeah, not much gets hit that I don't get a phone call about from somebody. Plus, anytime something's hit underground, I get the emergency notification from 811. So, yeah, because now it's like I'm on call for 811 24/7. Something's hit, which has happened like 3 times I've got that phone call. And you gotta answer within, like they call twice. Extractor out, and I don't know what happens at that point. So,
When you get timers, will you just look at that, or
Yeah.
if you think things need change,
I'm,
just bring it to us or whatever.
yeah, I'm looking at it.
Thanks.
it's very lengthy and
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an amendment of an earlier one. But it looks like they added repair. Some of it's in bold,
yeah, they added the repairs to, which did make sense.
and they added the town maintenance supervisor.
Yeah, we approved it last time.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Send me a copy. Or do you have a PDF or
Yeah, it's on my computer.
I'm gonna send it to you? That'd be better. I wonder what they're on.
Okay. Alright, new business building permits.
I had the angry donkey contact me the other day, again. Building out on the sidewalk that had a double door entrance. I told him, I think you can do that because it's on state highway right away. I said, however, I'll do my due diligence. I went to state highway, talked to state highway superintendent Frankfurt. He says, I think it is, but I'm not sure. Let me call Crawfordsville. I'll get the engineer involved. And he said, even if it is on our right away, they may be able to file for a variance through the state. I said, okay. You tell me what they can or can't do, and I'm backing out of that squabble. They would still have to get a permit from us,
So say,
but we're out of it till the state approves it, and that was superintendent at Frankfurt was supposed to call Crawfordsville that day. He was supposed to meet me that afternoon to tell me what the results was and to look at a ditch that was broke down there again. And I have had crickets since then. The owner of the donkey blew my phone up the other day, wanted to know where we stood. I said, I've done everything I can do. I talked to the guy face to face. Here's what he's supposed to do. I said, you're more than welcome to call Jessica, the engineer at Crawfordsville District, and go from there. So.
Yeah. And
they were supposed to had somebody here tonight, which is the second time that they've not had anybody here for that building permit. So.
Okay, salary ordinance for 2026.
You guys just you want to do? And you talked about last time that you were gonna check into, whatever, all the other marshals around were getting.
yeah, it's almost your time. So, I kind of didn't waste my time until we have the candidate. I definitely need to go up. So if it's easier, just go ahead and approve it a little bit higher.
Yeah, we would want to approve it at whatever we think that everybody else is paying.
He's at 20. Some change.
I don't know.
The other, like Rossville. Kirkland's, I was Colfax, they're in like the 34 region. 34 to 35 an hour. We're under 30, if I'm not mistaken. So I would do like I think it'd be fair to at least meet in the middle and approve up to 32. Still not really competitive, but getting closer to that
Yeah,
competitive
we're not.
region.
But like Kirkland, how many marshals do they? That's the thing, like they have what, 3?
A little more than that.
They have quite a few.
Yeah,
They're much more, they
Yeah.
all that fees.
but they are bigger than
Yeah, they are bigger.
And they all just work whatever, like they give them, their town board, like gives their marshal so many hours they have allotted and then he just schedules them from there. Yeah. So, I mean, I'd be even okay approving up to the 34. We don't have to offer that, but that way we don't have to, that the salary ordinance is in
Yeah,
for that.
I think up to 34.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about when we hire. Whatever. What we're wanting to pay.
Okay, so you guys are saying for the marshal,
54.
would you want your raises across the board? And are you including the town board in the raises? Are you leaving them status quo for a bit to?
That still knows where we're at.
You know what other towns pay their mountain maintenance person?
Sure, 20.
Did you make 20?
But
I think,
keep in mind now that two different entities, I'm on call 24 hours a day. 811, and then when they get the alarm set up, that dialer also.
Plus he's doing some duties out.
Plus all the maintenance out there, and all the maintenance here. Like, oh, goodness, that's good.
I'm gonna do your job.
I'm not sure you would want to do my job at times, but
it's a couple dollars. Yeah, yeah.
23?
Yeah, fair. Would you be okay with that?
don't say it's more like 25, but
I'm
Oh, yeah.
25.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure other town maintenance people make
more than
like,
they do. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you said, and then we're gonna keep the clerk and utility clerk the same, or are we going to do it for myself?
what you thinking?
With everybody, I'd like to have a raise too, so, yeah, we just keep doing more and more and.
Yeah.
Continually, no matter how small they are, we get to do more and more. Size seems to have nothing to do with it.
What do you think like a fair percentage would be?
So yours is usually done percentage, hasn't it?
We've done that, yes, usually.
I think it's just been 3%.
Just keep it this like 3% again. 5%.
5%? Would that be okay or?
That would be fine.
That's all right.
So the only ones we needed to go over.
And yeah, town board stays the same.
Yeah.
And we're gonna take the deputy off and the roster, so we don't have one, and aren't planning on one.
Right. Yes, right.
The one for you to vote on next meeting.
Okay. All right, new building, executive was held August 29th, tabled for now. Stormwater fund and planning project tabled for last month's meeting. We'll go to Maureen on that.
We sent you the updated version, same cost, same extra tasks, just, we updated the schedule to start all this work. Do you have copies of this? I didn't have copies of it. Okay. So, we're hoping that if you are willing to move forward, you'll sign this task order and then issue us a notice to proceed. So it's just puts back about a month from what we proposed to you. The draft of the stormwater master plan should be done by June of 2026. Does this still work for the Okra guidelines?
About to, yes.
round two, okay.
Okay.
Then but, you know, you gotta go through several steps of these master plans, but I think our goal is to meet the Okra construction application, proposal and application deadlines for round two of 2026, if I'm saying that correctly.
Yes. You would be, the town would be eligible to apply in round two. Once you're eligible to apply now, we just can't apply because your wastewater project has to be in construction, and what they deem in construction are signed construction contracts. And so we're anticipating those contracts to be signed June, July, August at the latest. So then that would make it round two that you would be available, which starts in October of 26. And the final application will be due in December. Those deadlines are not out yet.
Up to $750,000 potentially. We can apply for up to $750,000 in grant.
Yes.
You want to refresh yourselves on what's kind of outlined in the minutes from the meeting last time. Where we had discussed it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I've got a copy of it. So I'm not sure what you need. See, that was this. Lost County. But that shouldn't have very well. On this one. I know it's a need, but I know also raising people's grades again is not at all what I want to do, so.
True,
As a,
but like Rick had, like they had talked, it's gonna take what? What are we looking at? How many months? Before, four, which would be next year. I mean, obviously,
It's not gonna take that long.
yeah,
I
mean-
Sean about how he wants to do it. There's two different ways in statute you can set up.
It'd be like $5, I think it was discussed like $5.
$5.
Yeah.
What Colfax is doing.
yeah.
To build up.
You should have something in there pretty much is the way to.
I mean, it's just to set up the fund
Correct.
and then to
Yes.
go with the plan, it was like 56,000. And if we do it now and don't go out for a grant, we pay the whole thing. That's the real key here is we will pay the whole thing or we hold off and we try to get a grant for the plan.
And just to follow up on that, I think we are, the reason why we brought this to you to begin with is because Tina had expressed some deep concern about Okra planning grants. The town of Kirkland just submitted one and they did not get. There were no planning grants funded by Okra. I'm not sure, the requirements have gotten more difficult. And town of Kirkland, we know, because we're doing the wastewater work, they put together a very strong application. So again, we brought this to you because we saw the need that Tina had documented. As you recall, when we submitted the wastewater application to Okra, most of the comments were about stormwater.
Right.
And I don't want to talk too much more. I think it's easier to make the case for stormwater, rate increase for stormwater, because you can see it, because people will be able to see the result of that stormwater project. Whereas you can't see the result of the wastewater project easily.
Well, I do, but nobody else does.
The public does not.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
It's
townspeople.
really on how much you feel like there's a need. I mean, it sounds like there's community express their desire to have something done about it. So
They'll see when their basement's no longer flooded.
And, I think one of the reasons why I brought it up was that I just wanted you to know how long.
Yeah.
This was going to take us to get this established, to get this started. And the issue with having a wastewater project going now and the timing of getting a planning grant, then the delay, the shortage of funding. And it can just keep pushing this back. originally, when I talked to Jeff, I was like, oh, 2 or 3 years. But I'm realistically, we're probably at 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And this, so then we talked to Commonwealth about getting a proposal to see if you wanted to at least make it that 2 or 3 mark before you started on something on that stormwater. And so getting it in front of you to get it started without a CDD waiting what you need to wait to get a planning grant.
So I think we know that they're not funding planning grants, but they're still funding stormwater construction projects, right? So they're not funding planning, but they're actually funding the construction work. So we think that your chances of getting a stormwater construction grant will be significantly higher than what a planning grant, but
Right, and then two, if, let's say you're not funded the first time in with planning. And then you would be at Q1, going in for Q1 or Q2, or even, there's a timing there that's crucial for you to capture those flows. For an engineer to really recommend what they see, for issues. And so on planning for stormwater, it's critical that you catch that window of planning that's gonna line up with the spring. And that's also hard, with spring flows, and that's hard to do with Okra too, on their planning, because they, just not sure how long it's gonna take you to get funded. It's not if, it's when. But is it gonna take you a year to get the planning credit?
But if we went ahead and paid for the planning, then we can apply for the construction grant.
we'll accelerate it. Yeah.
If we get awarded that grant, can we recapture the planning money?
That's a good question, depending on, I know we're looking at combining a rural development and a stormwater and, CDBG. So potentially, if we use rural development, that might be able to get reimbursed. But I wouldn't guarantee it that it would be, but it could, there's a potential down the road.
Yeah.
There's a potential down the road, depending on what funding source you want to utilize to move forward. If you're gonna use local match and CDBG, the answer would be no. If you use rural development, maybe if they can get out of this furlough and get caught up.
And I think Darren's additional work proposal was targeted to both accelerate the project and increase your ability to score higher on the construction grant, and also do a little bit of work now that we would not have to do when we got the construction grant. So it would save on the engineering costs, so it may not be reimbursable in full. We can use some of the money that we're paying for now. We just had to move forward. We can devote more of that construction money to the construction.
And we have to have the fee in place, you can qualify for the grant. That correct?
Correct. It is, it's a benchmark that you have a utility,
Yeah.
but considering how competitive this is, they would fund, the Office of Rural Affairs would fund a utility that has a formal stormwater utility, because part of the scoring criteria is how are you gonna operate and maintain the system. And one of the ways as a grant administrator, I answer that question is by reflecting, well, they established a formal stormwater utility. They're collecting fees to help maintain the infrastructure that'll be installed. So really and truly, I mean, I see the biggest benefit is it'll shave off about a year. And again, even if we start, let's say at round 2, going after construction funding, it could be a year to line up. So if we start making that application in 2026 with this PER, it could push into 2027. We're still seeking that stormwater funding. So that construction would take place in 28 to 29. So it's still a length of time. I just didn't want you to hold off and it be longer and you all come back and you say, You didn't tell me that you get this 100-year flood or you get all of this rain and.
It's Gina's fault.
Why is it taking this long? Which you guys all know,
Yeah.
it does take time, but I just wanted to,
We kind of went through that in the spring with the 6 inch and then another 2, 5 days later.
yeah,
The future is unpredictable. What we do know is generally things get more expensive.
It
Yeah.
getting cheaper.
Cost of it. Now it's gas, more expensive, cost of labor gets more expensive. So that's, you know, bit of a risk you take by continuing to delay it. It's just the cost is the work is gonna get more expensive potentially.
Yeah.
Who knows, you know, I don't want to future, so.
My concern is we start charging $5 a month and they don't see any change for 2 years. Like, do we have to start, like, is there a? Can we wait to start charging that until we're a little bit closer to project start? I'm not comfortable, I think, charging people that live here for us to not.
my only recommendation when to start going ahead and implementing that $5 fee was to help offset the cost of this plan for your stormwater and to utilize those funds. I'm not sure where you're at with paying this fee. But you would be able to utilize a portion of those collected funds to put towards this contract immediately. That's my only recommendation. And Maureen and I talked, I think it was a couple months ago. We definitely don't want to push the board in this direction. We really don't. Don't want you to understand what I do. I didn't want you to think that we were pushing it, but before the next spring, I wanted to at least go through this spring rains. I wanted to go through this timeline with you to show you how long it's going to take if we started today to really get you to construction with the stormwater project. And I think that was really more than anything that we wanted to convey. And that you would have the option to go ahead and pay this out of pocket, go ahead and get that started with that stormwater utility, start collecting those funds, but you can delay on that stormwater utility if you wanted to.
What do our funds look like? Would this have to be paid out of town, correct?
I believe it will come out of the general fund for, yes.
What are we looking like for our budget?
We don't have a budget in it,
Yeah.
and it'd be close if we can get an additional appropriation in for this year.
And I think Jared told you, we're not gonna send you a bill. for
Right.
$6,000.
Right, so,
Yeah.
and we would have time if we don't have to start making payments until next year. Then we can get an additional appropriation, because it's not next year's budget either, because we didn't talk about it
Yeah.
in this July and June,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
so.
We have the funds.
We do have the funds, we could get it done.
So it wouldn't be 50-some thousand up front.
No, absolutely not.
They usually buy it, you know, can't talk, bill us, per, you know, where they're at during the completion. Yeah, we get billed a little bit every month, just like we're doing right now for the sewage project. We're paying a little bit every month.
Quick question.
Mhm.
What do you do today if you have a storm sewer that collapsed and take out part of the road? Some of your,
We're gonna pay it out of pocket
you're
for
paying
it.
it out of pocket, right?
Yeah.
Right,
So if you need the utility, then you have funds to help over that repair. You know, and that's what it's there for anyway.
Yeah.
Which we may be in that spot right now, because even though NDOT superintendent didn't come out and look at this hole, it's in there right away. He's telling me that still may be on you, even though it's in our right of way. If it's your drainage tile go to our right of way, it still could be on the town. I'm thinking, really, guys told me it was on you, but.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's just what you're saying there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because homeowners insurance isn't gonna cover it if it's the town's the drainage tile. Would be you guys.
you know, roughly, we would make that 15,000 a year. Based on the number of households at $5 a month. So.
And no matter what, we have to do it at some point in time.
Right.
That we don't.
The question is, when?
Yeah.
But now, we're ready to put on another project. And we want to push it out further.
I like the timeline of it because we'll be right in the prime for spring and that's when it's really important to see that. I hate to like do it in the fall and be like, well, I mean, nothing planned properly. I'm just more hesitant on GP, like, ugh, but what's your thoughts?
I'm for it. Charging people $5. I know we have people who obviously are the mid incomes, and I get it.
The 20 years.
But at this point, we have to do something like this. Probably should have been done a long time ago.
What was
being honest.
a long time ago when it paid, what was it, a lot talking about.
Haven't been talking about.
And that just never been done. So is there ever gonna be a right time? No. And you're not gonna make everybody happy.
Could we? I hate to do books twice if we don't have to. Is it something that we could go ahead and put out to start like in, I'm trying to.
The first of the year? I mean,
January might be too soon to get it approved, but if we just started like in March in the booklet, would that be okay?
Yes.
Would that be okay with you?
that would,
That way, if you just have it ahead of time, you don't have to do 2 books, like we're just good to go.
You got one day, you might wanna wait till your third member is here.
that's true.
That, that kind of was this year, because the sewage rates raised in, what was it, March?
Yeah.
But it's all in the.
They're for everybody to pay the wrong amount, because they pay. They look at it once and they never look at the book again. They don't put the right amount for months and. Yeah,
Well-
it's been the best bit of it, not fair on each
People,
collection.
they paid for the year,
Some of them did.
and they look at the first month and multiplied it by 12, which wasn't correct, but I knew it was changed, and so I adjusted it.
Some of them really struggled with how much to even change it for. It was just too much math.
So,
But-
yeah, so we're on board, we should probably, you're right, wait to have an official vote until
With
next
Jeff.
month.
Jeff.
And then at that time, we can do the rate amount, and then, maybe in the front, like, we could do a little sticker that says like, if you're paying for a whole year, this is your total. That way, it just kind of makes it simple.
No rate change at month, whatever.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Well, but now it's here, yeah.
Make that up, do it.
We are not guaranteed next year. We're looking at a July
Yeah.
up increase in sewage again. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, so
do it.
we can't give them an amount for the month that we're going to stand, for the year that we're going to stand by, because we're looking
Yeah.
at an increase. We don't know exactly how much it's close. I think we have an idea on how much it's supposed to be. And the year after that, we have an approximate that may or may not come into consideration.
I think that last one will not even have.
Exactly. Yeah, it may or may not come into consideration.
So you don't need to have a rate in place to be able to agree to this. I just want to clarify that. Or if you want to come back again next month, whatever you want to do. I just want to separate the conversation.
Should
Should we wait?
Should we
Is it a
ask
practice to
Jeff?
wait? Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, the side workers right here and she could
Correct.
go home to
That's correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay.
I
think you can have-
I said, yeah.
Just want to make sure.
No.
Conversation.
we talked about this, ordinance.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
We went through that. It doesn't make any sense to have it there in here. I think that's why they did it, but I'm not sure why. They amended it to put that in.
Yeah, that didn't make sense.
I would say take repair out and add installation.
Okay.
They. Yeah, obviously some things have changed. They have electricity, telephone, gas, water, cable, television, sewage. Or drainage. Need to probably put broadband, internet, fiber optic,
So,
Yeah.
get it up to date.
cable TV don't exist anymore.
I'm sure those things, then, yeah, that's. That.
There's a paragraph in here about cable TV. Take that out. They gave them the right to come in without some this to fix things. Paragraph 7 of this is if service is interrupted. Then the town was gonna restore the utility service. and then make them pay it back.
If we could, we wouldn't be able to restore anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure you could, I'm not sure you could do any of that. So I would say take that out. There's a $500 fine, which in 92 was 95 was probably a hindrance. I think they still low.
A fine for not complying.
Not
is that-
complying,
Right.
if they start working, they don't get their,
That's what we discussed, the 500,
Yeah.
the 250 was half of that.
Yeah, yeah, that's where that 250 came from.
and want to bump the fine up.
What is it on that?
$500,
And that was back in the 90s.
95.
I mean, you know, $1,000.
I think
I'm
59.
trying to say too, but 15,000.
minimum.
yeah, minimum,
Come in and don't comply or do something
yeah,
that I didn't approve in that permit.
Correct,
Then you
yeah.
can find it.
And then it had 48 hours, I'd say 5 business days,
Or,
to contact you or the town board.
Gives
If you
us 5
approve.
days to respond.
Right,
Oh.
5 business days.
Yeah. I like all of that.
yeah.
I'll make some changes to it.
Thank you.
And then you can publish it.
Okay.
Gonna be amending a 92 ordinance and a 95 ordinance, but rather than just starting over. We'll just clean it up a little bit.
Thank you. That's good.
much appreciated. Make it make sense.
Yeah,
Perfect. Okay. All right. Sewage utilities.
Things are going okay, plant's running well, just turned in the October reports and everything passed just fine. We had an inspection last Friday, from IDEM. Did you see the?
I did see it, yeah.
So we're in good shape. There was a couple of minor adjustments to some EMRM stuff, and I'll get that done here hopefully this week. You know, they did mark us marginal, primarily for the things that we have the construction for. So, but he was happy to know that we were proceeding, and so I think we'll be okay. The nice thing was they sent me the report and said, you don't have to respond to this because it's all good. Which most of the time I have to write a letter to say, okay, we're gonna correct this, we're gonna do that. So I'm happy about that. As Jeff mentioned earlier, we have the mission alarm systems out there. I've meant to install them, but my life is a little too busy. So I went and got a quote. I called BL Anderson, but who knows how to put these things in? Because for me, it's going to be trial and error to an extent. I mean, I know how to install a box, I know how to put everything in, but knowing what to connect to have it do the alarms is going to be an experiment. Because it was like, oh, we just watched the videos. Yeah, I'm not an electrician, so I don't know which thing will connect.
Yeah.
Right. So, he brought an electrical guy down. He has quoted me $3,000 to install those. So we can do that if you would like. It may be worth, I'm not sure when they're gonna do lift station work in this project. But like, since we are moving control panels and things. If we want to wait until that's done and have it connected when they do that, we can do that.
I would say that would be the best because they're gonna move every one of them control.
Yeah.
Right. So my question is, do you wanna pull with it now or pull with it later?
I'd say wait,
Okay. That's
but then
fine.
you're talking about moving it again, correct?
Well, I mean, when they move it,
Yeah,
I'm not
Yeah.
sure what's all involved
correct. Okay.
in that, but, you know, they keep the same boxes, that just slide in over,
Not sure. Okay.
reconnecting the wires and whatnot.
They. There's so many people. We looked at this one out here.
Yeah, it's a little too close to the.
Yeah, it's way too close to the home. Every one of them's that way. We discussed moving straight back, turn them to the side, and we finally decided to move them straight back so the control panel was still. They did the panel and look at the hole at the same time. So if we set a bunch of alarms, then they wired in, but then they move back 4 feet, they're gonna have to
Well, yeah,
extend wires and stuff too, I would assume.
maybe not. I mean, what I would anticipate is they're just gonna lengthen the football wires and the wiring to the pumps, which usually have a little extra in there anyway. But that said, yeah, so, you know, but it can be just done when we move it.
And I can just be the simplest, just install them after we get them moved and
And that's fine, that's fine. We'll just, you know, coordinate at that point. It'll be next, about a year from now, probably. You might guess. So,
and along with that, the day that Bill Anderson, our people showed up out there, I just happened to be there. Sean and I stand outside, this vehicle out of nowhere pulls up. I said, I don't know that person. I don't know either. Thinking, oh God.
well, I told Sean that.
And then this guy gets out and he introduced, Sean said, oh yeah, you're supposed to be here this morning. We talked a little bit, I left, but he was asking who'd be on the island or whatever you would call it.
Yeah, it'll end up being me and you.
I was gonna say, I looked at Sean, I said, well, first call to go to you if you're here. Then the second one to me, but I said, you talk to Scott, set that up however you
Yeah,
want.
the nice thing about these is they will call, email, or text. They will tell you. So that's nice. One thing we did discuss is that the main unit out of the treatment plant will be down behind the incoming lift station. And that way they're not running wires all over the place. The only thing they have to do is put the antenna up there to get the side network, so, that should be, and you're not running wires. You can, if you're 300-400 feet,
That would be,
whatever. Basically, this was that filter built, which is fine.
Yeah.
So, much further distance there. Yeah, so that included the 3 lift stations and the main unit. That was really the main thing I had, other than, yeah, just the item stuff.
Right,
Marcia.
his last day was today. I got these, and he gave me his report. And I give you a copy of it and then Barry can give one too. Miles driven 57, hours worked 14, law incident 6, school patrols 2, patrols 2. Reckless driver dispatch call. Resignation, he left his contact information behind for Rovers, hired an accident operations marshal at no expense to Michigan Town for the Michigan condition. Willing to assist with any questions and computer assistance, etc.
Jeff Klein.
what's first? Pam?
Sure.
Okay. Obviously, we already talked about the crack ceilings done. They did a good job. They're gone. There was some areas, probably 5 or 6 areas that the paper kind of fell through, which created alligator cracking. He told me crack seal on alligator areas is like putting lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig. So instead of sealing all that, they're going to double seal it when they come back in the spring. Which sounded like a good plan. Portable generator in the back of the truck. I had to do some repairs on it the other day, nothing major. Didn't cost any parts or anything like that. Did mount the snow plow and the spreader and change the oil in the snow plow. Good thing since it snowed last night. I did a surface drain repair behind 301 Main Street after Pam's dog found it for me. Had to go buy a cover on that thing to go over top of it because that one was bigger than the ones I had to grow. So I got that. Removed a down tree on 3rd Street a few weeks ago. Obviously, it's weekly trash. Put stone in 3 bad spots in random alleys. Said before, met with the angry donkey about the building permit. Got the building kind of winterized by moving all the freezable items into the office where they won't freeze. I did get both of the brush piles. One in the woods and one at the sewage plant after the burn ban went off. I met with Stephen Ray, to do the passer training, which is how you grade streets. Thought that was gonna be some kind of rocket science, and it was not. We met here for probably an hour or so. We went over everything. He gives me the paperwork, the tab or the book. It's kind of like a picture book, like match the picture to the street. And then I had the last year's grading to kind of as a reference too, which kind of helped. So that's been done. That was sent to Tim Carson. Repair the street sign at Main and First. After Justin told me it was bent, I had another. Got that repaired. Also, while when I met with Stephen Ray, we discovered that there was some streets that had never been documented on measurements. So I went and measured streets and a couple of distances, got that all fixed. And then I attended a homeless multi-hazard mitigation plan meeting, which is required for us to get federal funding in case of disaster, flooding, tornado, whatever. It lasted about just a tick over an hour. Kind of informal, but it's all about making a plan for the town and the townships and the county. I guess we weren't represented 5 years ago, so we didn't qualify for any federal funding. So got to go to this meeting. I got to go to another one in January to qualify. And along with that, while I'm thinking of it, the Stephen Ray told me after January 1st, I will have to go to the Crawfordsville, I believe, to get a certification from the passer grading, which makes any big deal. It's just, you gotta go set through it.
He was singing your praises at the Iron Block or the meeting the next day with them.
Do what?
He was singing your praises the next day in the Iron Block.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Just a happily. And that's, I think, it for the town side. The wastewater treatment plant side, I've done 18 locates. Hey, well, no, well, just one of mine, anyway. I do have concrete coming, weather permitting, next week from the generator shed back there. I also cut the doorway in the back of it, so when they can concrete out the back and you can just roll the chemical barrels on the cars out the back door and in the other back door now instead of tractor motor and manhandle. So the doorway's been framed, cut out and framed. Hopefully we get concrete poured next week sometime. That part will be over. Installed the screens over the Sagar pipes. Oh, I just call them Sagar pipes, the inlet pipes to the
Yeah.
Sagars. Pumped that pit out. Sean helped me with that.
Yeah.
Handed me screws, which was huge. Because I did wear an air pack while I was down the hole. It was like, oh, I'm not sure I want to be down in there with the raw sewage part. Even though we pumped it clear out, I thought,
Yeah.
I'm just a little
Do
leery.
you have a 48 meter like that?
I do.
Okay. Usually I just use those as a,
I forgot to take it. I usually take it off of the truck out here, and I forgot it that morning. I came in to get the air pack anyway. I thought, well, I'll be the connector. I got an air pack on. I'm good. I was
I think
driving
it's a good plan on what you did there. So.
as far as the screens.
The air pack. Yeah.
Well, like I told Sean, I said, I'm dreading this project. I really was, because in 92, we had 2 sewer maintenance guys get killed in the city of Frankfurt, doing
Yeah.
the same thing. And that is in the back of my mind
Yeah.
the whole time.
Better safe than sorry.
So I thought, let's put an air pack on and just should have had more safety stuff,
Well, yeah.
a line and a harness. I thought, Sean's right here. I'm standing on the ladder,
Yeah.
Along with that, Abby had called me needing a picture of manhole 11. So I uncapped manhole 11, sent her the pictures. That's the one with the county drain or a drain tile going through the manhole, which is bizarre. Assistant Sean was obtaining the sludge samples the other day. He was a little leery getting out in the boat by himself. He asked if I could go back. I said, yeah, that's fine. He said, you think maybe you ought to get a rope? I said, Sean already got a rope. I'll tether you at 50 feet so I can pull you back in if something happens. So after he got his sea legs under, he did all right. Also, I helped Sean blow out the chemical lines when he shut the plant down.
Yeah, he said he did the chlorine and.
He flushed it with water, and I went back there and blew it out for him. Along with that, I had to replace the portable air compressor on the truck. The old one that we had that I've been using locked up on me. So I had to do a little emergency replacement of that. That comes back to me, Pam. I know you can't pay the sales tax, but I just paid for it to get going real quick. And I think that's it. If there's any questions. Pam, I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but every time you text me, you're texting Eric at On Point.
You know, I noticed that. Let's get it done. Yeah.
Say, you want my computer too, or do I need to fix that?
Yes. I must be picking the text, was previously the joint. And I noticed that the other day. This is the first time I did notice, so.
He's never said anything about it.
No, he doesn't seem to, he's a really nice guy. I like him. Yeah.
Oh, there was. I won't say it's an issue. 3 days ago, On Point did hit a power line into the house. For whatever reason, they've been under that line very many times now and never hit it.
I did get pictures of it.
I understand they had a different driver.
They had a different driver, and it wasn't Eric that I talked to because Eric was on vacation and gone, but his number 2 guy called me. He said, that guy's in a different truck, so I don't know if that truck sets just a tick higher, but it's for the service of the house and everything else. And I told the owners, I said, they stayed, they didn't run off. The police report, crash report. They got all the information. Of course, they were blaming On Point. I said, well, not their fault, but maybe the line's too low. That's more like what to do. Of course, Duke gets there, they're pointing at On Point pointing to that's.
So job to Duke it out.
And I told the owners, I said, you're gonna have to repair the part of the house. Duke's not gonna fix that. So just get an electrician, turn in your insurance, let your insurance battle Duke and On Point. It's out of your hands. Turn in your insurance, they're gonna pay, then.
Yeah.
You're out of the picture.
Yeah. Sure.
They got it back up, got power that same afternoon, so.
Yeah.
But there was a kind of more of a squabble with the homeowner than anything. I think I got it resolved anyway.
Yeah. I got you. Okay.
Then he came in there, screaming at a bunch of, whoa, just chill out.
Okay. Any public comment? Anything, Mr. Fields?
No.
Okay, nothing? Okay.
Good job.
Any complaints? Okay, all right.
To show up and listen.
That's a good idea. You like it? Appreciate it.
Did we lose our town marshal?
Yeah,
We did. We did.
yes.
Oh,
So you have a candidate or go
Well,
something?
oh yeah, we'll have to replace him. I'm gonna call an executive meeting, and we can talk about candidates we had already interviewed, and then we can go from there if we want to put it back out there.
Just so you know about it here, but until you get a marshal replaced, I'm gonna put the police car in the very back. Go trucks up front, so I don't have to do the docking
Okay, that's
back
perfect.
and forth.
Okay. Next meeting, December 8th, 6:30. Okay, all in favor? I second that. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
These shoes are better than the other ones.
Oh, these are quite comfortable. They're good.
Stop our upside down meeting.
Still upside down.
We're still upside down.
Yeah.
No, they were just like white pulling bears.
Oh my God.